I don't want to sound like an after-school special, but, do what you put your mind to. Hi, my name is Mike Peluso. Oh, when I grew up, probably at the age of 6 or 7, I wanted to build things. Actually, the first word I learned how to spell was architect. I had a really bad learning disability growing up. Not necessarily super dyslexic or anything like that, but I just had, reading, writing, kind of following people, really just slowing down. I took a lot of Ritalin. I think the maximum dosage was like 20 milligrams, and I think I was taking 40 milligrams a day. I even had a guidance counselor tell my parents not to bother sending me to college because I was always so scattered around the area. It wasn't until I was a freshman in college that I realized I wasn't that good at math, and I changed my major from there about 6 or 7 times before I stumbled upon glass. What I do. Glass being the intensity that it is kind of almost mirrors my intensity, and there's this balance that I have with it where I can kind of figure out my own problems in life through working with glass. I don't care what I make, I don't care if my end result is something's this. It's the actual process that I'm interested in. I have a bunch of people help me, and we'll break something at the very last second. Everyone's like, oh no, we broke it. I'm like, don't worry, we figured this out over here, now I know what we're going to do. So you actually work a lot of glass backwards, which is really what we need to do in our lives, find out what we do wrong, and then back it up from there. A lot of times we don't think about movements in our brain, or if I do this, this will happen. Glass forces you to not only think about it, but experience it in real time. And so I have to think of the end result, and how do I get to that end result? And I start off with something that's clear and there's no red in it, so I have to figure out how to get the red in it and blow it out and get it into a flat plate, and then spin it over and make it into a taco and drop it over something. So you ultimately end up dealing with the end result first and then working backwards from it. So I would definitely say that is a passion, really actually spelling it out. Yeah, I don't really teach people how to shape the material. I teach them how to shape themselves and deal with their own intolerances and push themselves just a little bit farther, make it a little bit bigger, make it a little bit thinner, make it straighter. But you're not really melting down that glass. They're actually changing and altering themselves. They're melting away their own inhibitions. They're melting away their own, I can't do this, or this is too hot, or I'm not good enough. And then they realize through the process of the glass blade that they can reshape themselves and they can remold themselves. And after they come out of the kiln, they're cooled down, they're rehardened, they're shaped crisper and sharper and better. Not necessarily physically, but on an emotional state as well, because they just did something that's thousands of years old that they never thought they'd be able to do, and they do it in less than a matter of hours, less than sometimes an hour. It's almost a form of art therapy, I guess, where you can heat up your personality and shave off some of the things you don't like and really see an end result and then do it again. Interesting. Oh, what's my message to the world? I always would tell people, I think everyone can and should do glass and should try it at least once in their life. But I think ultimately, more so, the message would probably be, don't second guess yourself. I had a professor in college tell me, hey, Mike, you're not going to be able to get good at this doing this here. And, I made him eat his own words. Actually, I had another professor tell him, yeah, you make him eat his own words. And I guess that's really what teachers really try to do, is they try to push you to go farther. I thought I was just going to make a widget and get good at making a widget. And they're like, hey, here's Mike. He makes nice widgets. Enjoy his widget. No, I'm actually teaching people how to make their own widget. And I guess that would probably be, that'd probably be it. Make that a giant leaning statue that you can really do and push yourself to much greater heights than you can imagine.